Good morning, everyone. I was told that I have to speak English for the whole lecture, so I was just like, how can I do it in the morning, early in the morning? So I always I hate morning lecture, to be honest. So it's pretty surprising that there are so many people among us today. Okay, I'm your senior for sure. You can see that I graduated in 2007. And after my med school, I just finished my clinical training as a surgeon. And what kind of surgeon I am? Do you guys want to guess? Make a guess. Okay, there are 3 girls in the front line. So what kind of surgeon do you think that I am? You can speak English or Chinese, whatever you want. Or, yeah, Taiwanese, that's totally fine for me. 你觉得我是什么外科医生？ No, I'm not. Yeah, most of people may guess that I'm a plastic surgeon for most of the time, but I'm not. Actually, I'm a general surgeon. And what's general surgeon? Actually, we deal with our gastrointestinal surgery and also breast surgery and also liver transplantation. And one of my favorite, the 2 main categories that my favorite is breast surgery and also liver transplantation. So, I have 2 different kinds of training. It's very different, but that just fulfill my different kind of characteristic. Okay, so after finishing my clinical training, I went to UCLA for my grad school, for my PhD. And what kind of PhD do you think that I am? I think most of people will think, oh, for sure, you must have some kind of molecular biology or something like that. Yeah, that's true. I'm dealing with molecular biology. But I am specialized in a very special category of molecular biology. I deal with computer science. I did programming. I do programming and also next generation sequencing. So basically what I did is for genetic research. Can you guys understand what I'm talking about, or I should slow down a little bit? It's okay, right? It's pretty easy for my English, I think. Okay. So, after finishing my grad school, I just come back here and doing clinical work as a visiting staff, or what we should say is attending. So I have to do a lot of clinical work every day. So you may see me every day rushing back and forth in the hospital and also in the school because I still have to do a lot of research right now. Okay, so that's something about me. Is there any question about who I am and what kind of things that I did when I was in med school? Pretty much a lot of bad things, I think. Yeah. Okay, I'm always the one who is not the kind of good student, but I got really good grades most of the time, so people couldn't say anything about me. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, a lot of people think why I get into NDMC. This is my story actually. I know that I want to become a doctor since I was really, really little. And most of my family, they're alumni of NDMC. So I got admission to Yangming University, the med school there. Yeah, but I still decided to come here because my family thinks that here is the best place for becoming a surgeon. Though I don't know whether it's right or wrong right now, but this is my story why I'm here together with you guys. So I'm not the kind of person who really fit into the whole system very well, but I survive and I squeeze any bit of the resource that I can get from this school. So you should do that, even though if you have different kind of idea or potential what you're going to do in the future. So today I was invited for this talk. It's not because they want me to be here talking about, oh, doing grad school is perfect, you should get a PhD, you should stay in the medical center to become a good doctor or very outstanding doctor. No, I'm not here today to tell you something about that. I'm here today to let you know that any one of us or every one of us here today have full potential and unlimited potential. Don't limit yourself, okay? So this is my story. Okay, To be honest, I hate this poster. I hate it. When I first saw, I'm sorry. For the officer today for in charging this class, she is my really great mentor when I was in the math school because I couldn't fit into the system very well, but she helped me. So I'm sorry that I have to judge this poster. I hate it. I have to be honest. It looks like I am having some kind of funeral. Yeah. To be honest, I was just like, okay, fine. I can handle it. Yeah, so okay, we are going to talk about how to deal with presentation and poster later on for today's talk. So after this, probably we can have a better idea. Okay, so this is my resume or my experiences when I'm having my education or medical training. I finished my I finished my med school in 2009. So how many years older I am compared to you guys? So what's your class for this year? No, I mean what's your class? I'm in 102. 121. Oh fuck! I'm sorry. 121. So one more year, I am 20 years older than you guys. Oh gosh. I can have kids like you, right? That's amazing. Okay. Yeah, so I graduated from NDMC in 2009, and then I finished my postgraduate year training in 2012, and then I come back to Tri-Service General Hospital to finish my residency as a general surgeon for 6 years for sure. I know a lot of people think that I was out of my mind, decided to become a general surgeon. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm completely out of my mind at the time. Yeah, so I become a general surgeon because I think as a general surgeon I can do a lot of things. But that's true. No, it's really tiring, but that's true. Okay, so after that, I became a chief resident for the whole surgery department for 1 year from 2015 until 2016. And after that, while I was a chief resident, I also preparing for my grad school. So I have a year, I did GRE, right? That's TOEFL test, and also preparing for all the documentation that I need to apply for the grad school. So I didn't ask anyone to help me. I just did it myself because I know what I want to do when I was your age. So I joined the lab when I was in your age, and then I finished several projects, and I went to Academia Sinica for collaboration with a lot of really well-known mentors. So they gave me really great recommendation letters, so I can just become part of UCLA. Okay, so this is my school, that is UCLA Molecular Biology Institute, and for my program it's very different because we have 4 main home areas. That is biochemistry, biophysics, and structural biology, and the other home area that is cell and developmental biology. And the one that I was really get involved in, that is gene regulation, epigenomics, and transcriptomics. But this is not my home area. My home area is immunity, microbes, and molecular pathologists. Yeah, it's very different, right? There are 4 different kinds of categories, but I really appreciate my program. Why I appreciate it? Because they don't have any kind of limitation for me. So even though I got into the home area that is belonging to immunity, but that doesn't really necessary that I have to fix in that kind of home area. I can do whatever I want. I can do all the 4 home areas. So basically, my research is just combination of these 2. Okay, so this is our timeline and general requirement. That is year 1, we have to finish the required units that I have to do a lot of classes, lectures. That's totally a nightmare. Think about it. I was 32. I have to do a lot of classes, and I have to do a lot of tests. I have to do a lot of reports. Yeah, that's my year 1. And I have to do lab rotation. So I rotated in 2 labs and doing basically almost the same thing. I'm joining system biology lab, so I have to do a lot of computer programming. So it's very ironic. Before I went to UCLA, I told myself like, okay, for a computer, I just have to turn it on and turn it off. That's totally good enough for me. Or I should just like, I know how to use Microsoft. That's totally doable. That's good enough for me. And once when I get there, the first things that I did, the first rotation lab that I did is programming. Yeah, that's very ironic. So I did a lot of programming for the past 4 years, so I'm really good at Linux or Python or R. It's just very ironic. But I love it. It's just don't limit yourself what I told you, because for my whole lecture, I just want to let you know, you guys are really young and really in your developmental stage, so shouldn't limit yourself to any kind of new things or new techniques, because you guys having a bright future. And for the first year, I also have to do the written qualifying exam. That is like off thesis. So basically, this kind of written qualifying exam shouldn't relate it to your main thesis later on in your graduate school. And for year 2, we still have to do thesis research at the time that you should fix in one specific lab. And then the worst things that we have to do teaching assistancy. What's teaching assistancy? It's not like what it's called, who is getting the homework back, your whatsoever, the bandai or no, it's not something like that. It's something that we have to teach the student. We have to teach the graduates, undergrads like you guys. So the undergrads there, they are completely different from you guys. You see, you guys are still sleeping or like trying to do your cell phone. That's totally fine for me, but actually in UCLA, it's very competitive. All of the students, they are just like staring at me and also asking questions for the whole classes. And every week I have to do that 3 times and tortured by a student for 3 times. It's torture. So you guys are like angel. You're just like doing nothing there and smiling at me. It's just fantastic. Trust me. In UCLA, it's very competitive. So the students, they are just asking questions, challenging you all the time. They're my good friends. I become the best teaching assistant for the year, but that was a nightmare. So trust me, outside the world, they are a lot of students. They are trying to pursue their future. So you guys are not the best. You guys are not the best. So just try to work as hard as you can, okay? Oh, by the way, I graduated as the first class in my class. So I'm pretty tough, to be honest. If you guys come to clinical training, and I was your supervisor, be careful. Okay. So
is it also because that it's very costly, expensive to study at UCLA? That's why students there treasure their chances to study there.
Yeah, but the things that I feel like is very surprising is that almost all the students there, they are very competitive. Not only for like foreign students, but also for the local students. They are very competitive. They are just like, they need every point from me. And probably because they want to get into math school or something, but it's just like, okay, it's very surprising for me. I thought that, like from our movie stereotype, we thought that, American, like, university, they should be like party school or something like that. No, that is not the case. I thought I was party school, but that is not. I was tortured. I have traumatized memory because like I have to take care of the students' academic performance, but I also have to take care of their mental status. That's so, okay. Yeah, that made me feel like I am their mom or big sister or something. And that's very impressive, the kind of experience that I have there. But that is my year 2. So teaching assistant give me a lot of different kind of view toward their higher education system. And also that took me a lot of time. So it's really time consuming. So it's very commanding. And also, we have to select our doctoral committee. So, which means that you have to ask the professor who is really interested in your research or related to your research to become your committee board. And for the third year, we're still doing our thesis research, and we have to do another quarter of teaching assistantship hours. Okay, good. And in my year 3, we also have to do oral qualifying exam. That is a big thing. That is a really big thing. We almost like spending 3 months to prepare for that, and it's very challenging. So for my oral qualifying exam in that year, they decided that we couldn't provide any kind of snacks, even for donuts. We couldn't put it on the table, or we couldn't do any kind of treat. The only thing that we can put on our like during my oral qualifying exam for the committee is just water. So it's even challenging because there's nothing could distracting them. Yeah. And for that, after my oral qualifying exam, we have to reconstitute our doctoral committee. So which means that we have to add a few more mentors to become our committee. And on year 4 is our thesis research and our committee meeting. And usually we graduate in year 5, but for our circumstances, we have to graduate in the 4th year. So the time is really like ticking, and we have to do whatever we can, even during the weekend, to like utilize every minute, every hours. Okay, so this is my timeline for my grade school. And okay, so it's in year 1, we have to do the required unit. So it's very surprising that we have to do the classes or the lectures with the local student. And for local student, they are like monsters. Why I say monsters? They are really good in their English ability. They are native speakers, and they can like pitch themselves so much and so well. Do you guys know what's the word pitching means? Pitch. Is there anyone know it? Like P-I-T-C-H. Pitch. Pitch means that you have to sell yourself. You have to convey your idea in a very clear and appealing way. So they know how to pitch themselves. But for we Asian students, we don't know. Even though you guys might think, oh, it sounds like you speak really great English, right? But actually, when I was there, I'm still not good enough. I was not good enough compared to them. And I couldn't pitch myself because I was not trained to pitch myself when I was here at your age. Though it sounds like I'm pretty confident and I did a lot of presentation, but that is still not good enough. So in my first class, surprisingly, I was drawing a blank. My brain was completely blank, and I speak nothing on the stage. That was a terrifying experience. Since I was a kid, I was always the one who talked so much and who could talk or present myself very well. But in my first class in the US, I failed. I blanked out. I just okay, I couldn't say anything. Even though I wrote a script for myself before my presentation, but I couldn't say a word. So that is a traumatized memory, and that made me feel really afraid of any kind of presentation later on, and that became my nightmare. So I saw this. That is the Grass Slam in UCLA. It's an event every year. It's an annual event for every year. When I first joined UCLA, I was like, I knew this event, but I was like, no, I'm not the one who is going to participate in that kind of event. Because that kind of event, you have to present what you're doing for your research in 3 minutes to the public, and in a very clear, appealing, and understandable way. Because my audience is not you guys, the math student. My audience could be general population, could be any pedestrian on the street. So it's very challenging, and I think that I'm not a native speaker. I'm not going to do it because I'm not good enough. But after that kind of nightmare, and also in 2019, the year before I becoming a third-year grad student, one of our lab member, she just decided to participate in this event. And she did really a great job. It's surprising because in our lab, no one can talk about our research in such a clear and understandable way. And she did it, and she did a really, really great job. So let's take a look at her performance first.